Hey everyone, so I'm done paring down my top 20 games of the year, and there were so many great games that came out in 2017 that couldn't make the cut. I just wanted to, before the proper top 20 starts going up, I just want to shout some others out in a real rapid lightning round style. So let's start with Nidhogg 2. The game is ugly, unfortunately, but it expands upon the ingenious competitive fencing in the first game, with more weapons and more stages. This would have made my top 20 if the online was more active, and I can't fault the game for the player base being so low, but if I can't play a match at will, it's still hard to put on a Game of the Year list, so if you have friends to play it with, this is still excellent. Switching gears, Narcosis is one of the scariest games that I've ever played, and it scratches a very particular itch that I've had for strong deep-sea horror. Likewise, Little Nightmares is a sublime and creepy puzzle platformer that nails environmental storytelling. And harkening back to the glory days of RPGs like Baldur's Gate, something I hold very near and dear to my heart, is Divinity Original Sin 2. And it harkens back to these older styles of Western RPGs without being slavishly bound to the old ways entirely. But it's got that soul that I'm looking for, and along with that is tons of unique, incredibly detailed interactions and really intricate writing. And one of my favorite details about the game continues to be that elves have the ability to consume corpses in order to gain memories. And as we just established, I love turn-based combat, and I really love Jomad's artistic sensibilities. So those two things come together beautifully and brilliantly in Battle Chasers Night War. And rounding out the trifecta of turn-based RPGs is Cosmic Star Heroine by Zeboyd, makers of the Penny Arcade Adventures numbers 3 and 4, Breath of Death 7, and Cthulhu Saves the World, all of which are excellent in their own rights. But I feel like Cosmic Star Heroine is their strongest effort yet. Horizon Zero Dawn is gorgeous. I love how hunting and especially combat works with all of the options available and how many cool on-the-fly tactical decisions there are to make. But I wasn't as invested in the characters or story, which is why this falls just a little bit shy of my top 20. Thimbleweed Park is a throwback to the LucasArts adventure games of my childhood, like Day of the Tentacle and especially Maniac Mansion, and this game isn't just nostalgia, it's just as good as Day of the Tentacle or Maniac Mansion were in their heydays. It nails the aesthetic, the tone, the humor, everything about what I loved about those games. And most importantly, it just puts a big old grin across my face when I play it. PUBG. The reason that PUBG isn't on my main Game of the Year list isn't because it's in early access. I know that the main release was sometime in early to mid-December, so it hit the 2017 cutoff. That has more to do with the sparsity of content in PUBG. I think the novelty is very, very high, and I love how it fixes some of the fundamental problems that I have with this Battle Royale genre that really kind of exploded with DayZ. And that specific fix is that it slowly constricts the playable area until confrontation is inevitable. Moving on to Absolver, I love the depth of Absolver's systems and the beauty of it and how it makes you feel like a nomadic world warrior in search of other fighters to help hone your edge. Because you learn by fighting in this. You unlock new moves by encountering and fighting other players and other enemies, by seeing people do moves, and also by parrying those moves, because it makes sense. If you can parry a move, it demonstrates understanding, so it unlocks faster for you. The MMO-esque feel of being able to take others on like this is also radical. I just wish it wasn't also an RPG with loot and levels and stats, because I feel like that takes away from some of what I love about it. Bleed 2 is a bit loose feeling, but you have so much mobility with the triple air dash in any direction that more than makes up for any looseness in the controls. And the game is a huge run and gun with heavy bullet hell elements, so that, coupled with all the mobility I mentioned already, gives Bleed 2 a very special place in my heart. And finally, last but not least, you can't accuse Assassin's Creed of not being willing to constantly reinvent itself while hopping historical settings, and Origins has been one of the most drastic shakeups in the franchise's history. A heavier, more deliberate combat system combined with the ancient Egyptian setting is exactly what I needed to overcome a serious case of franchise fatigue that's been ailing me since around Assassin's Creed 3 or Black Flag. And that's it for the honorable mentions. 2017 was a pretty insane year for games, and I honestly feel like I could have comfortably done a top 50, but I have to show it some modicum of restraint here. So top 20 through number 11 is going to go up tomorrow on Monday, January 8th, and the top 10 will go up on Wednesday. Don't take any games that are absent from that top 20 or from this honorable mentions video as an insult. There are so many terrific games that came out this year, it's impossible to cover all of them in just a couple of videos. So if you want, try to play along and predict what numbers 20 through 11 are going to be, and if you're feeling frisky, try to guess my whole top 20. And also feel free to share your favorite games of 2017 in the comments. Thank you all for watching, take it easy, have a good one everyone.